Now here's a variety of hones, a couple different ceramics, and then a couple of metal steels. And then I've got a couple of diamond steels. Now, I don't really consider these diamond steels or these diamond hones in the same category as these. I think these fall more into the arena of a stone. So I'm going to put them aside for a second. These are all hones, and even this ceramic is aggressive enough that I would put this in the diamond steel category. So it's closer to a stone. It's kind of a stone on a stick. These are more hones, and again, these are not all, these all don't cut the same. What we've got here is a completely polished, smooth butcher steel. This is a sample I got from a company, so it doesn't have a handle on it. Normally it would have a handle kind of like this. And this is essentially a hardened piece of steel with a chrome coat over the top of it. And this material is approximately the same hardness as the knife edge. And you may wonder why it has no groove to it whatsoever. If we compare it to this steel, you can see the steel has grooves in it, and this steel has no grooves in it. Well, in a butcher shop or in a poultry plant where they're processing a lot of meat, you need that, the butchers need that knife to be razor sharp, like push cut sharp. So as they have to cut, if they're working on a conveyor belt and all of these chickens are coming down, they have to make those cuts very quickly. They can't saw back and forth because it takes too long, it's inefficient, you can get carpal tunnel. So their knives are razor sharp. Their knives are going to be sharpened in the morning before they take the line. Then when they go and take a break at lunchtime, turn the knives in, pick up new knives when they come back from lunch. So again, they're razor sharp and polished. Now, the conveyor belt is made out of super tough material. Once in a while, they're going to hit the bone, they're going to hit the conveyor belt, they may hit the Kevlar glove that they're wearing to protect their hand. And all of those little hits could slightly deflect or deform the edge of the knife into this configuration where they start to lose efficiency in how that knife edge cuts. So they have one of these in their holster that they keep at their side. And this has no groove to it to not affect or disrupt the edge of the knife, not to rough up the edge of the knife. This polished material is meant to realign or to straighten out that roughed up knife edge. And so as they rub their knife back and forth on this, it will straighten it out with the least amount of interference. So this is the steel that imparts almost no finish to the edge of the knife. It simply straightens out the edge if it's not in alignment. So that's the easiest one. The second one, this is a combo steel that I asked ZWILLING to make, and it's got 2 polished sides and 2 grooved sides. So remember, this is a hardened rod. This is as hard as the knife edge. Now these grooves that are put in here, what that turns this into is a file. This is a linear file. And when you rub a knife across this, because this is harder, it acts like a file and it actually roughs up the edge of the knife and it creates teeth. And those teeth will assist in the knife cutting when it's not cutting that well. So if we have a smooth polished edge and it gets out of alignment and we rub it on this file, it'll actually straighten out the edge, but it'll also rough it up and create teeth. So the idea behind this dual steel is that once the performance of the knife begins to drop a little bit, the first attempt you're going to make is on these 2 polished sides. And that'll straighten the edge out, and you go back to work and see that the knife has improved in performance. Hopefully it has improved in performance. If it doesn't come back, then you can rotate the steel and use the 2 rough sides to actually generate some teeth on the edge of the knife and straighten the edge out, and then rotate the steel to burnish or polish the edge of that knife. Now that you've got teeth and straighten it, you want to polish it and straighten it out. So that's the idea behind a two-sided or a dual steel. Now, they've made lots of different steels over the years. This is a spiral cut steel, and you can see it's a very complicated cut or grind on this knife, and this is quite an aggressive steel. So this will create a pretty aggressive edge and a very toothy edge, and this would not be a good edge for shaving hair. This is going to be super toothy, and it won't cut the paper in a push cut at all. You have to do a sliding cut because the edge becomes so toothy. Here are a couple of different ceramics. This is a ceramic that ZWILLING has made, and if you just feel it, you can see you can feel that it's got a tooth to it. It's got a little roughness to it, and this will help generate teeth as well. The beauty of a ceramic is that this material is so hard that it will never wear out. So you could use this for years and years and years, whereas these steel hones, these files, these will actually wear over time. And these ridges or these spirals will actually become softer or smoother, so to speak, over time. And so they begin to act more like a polished steel. So they're dynamic in the way that they cut. When they're brand new, they cut more aggressively. And the older they get, or the more that you use them, the more they begin to act like a butcher steel, like a polished steel. The ceramics, on the other hand, these are not going to wear. So this is a hone or a ceramic that we make at the shop, and it's a really fine ceramic. It almost is as smooth as glass. It's not quite as smooth as glass, but again, super hard material, will never wear out, and gives a really nice, smooth, consistently. The edge is not aggressive. On the other hand, it's not like a polished steel. It does have a little bit of cut to it, and this kind of resembles about a 4,000 grit Waterstone. And these I would all consider hones. Now, these diamond steels and this tungsten carbide ceramic, these are quite aggressive, and they're essentially what we have here is a mild steel base, and we've glued or nickel-plated diamond, real industrial diamond, to the outside surfaces of these. And when you use these, every time you use these, they're removing a lot of material, and they're creating a pretty aggressive tooth to the edge of the knife.